Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of We Evolve.
And today's episode is about ADHD. And did you know that roughly 1 in 4 US adults now suspect that they have ADHD? So in this week's episode, we're going to cover whether everybody has a little bit of ADHD or have we just gotten better at diagnosing people with ADHD?
What do you think?
I kind of think that people use, okay, I don't know if it's a hot take, but I think people sometimes use mental health terms as like a umbrella term.
Like, what do you mean?
Like if someone doesn't have a good attention span, they're like, oh, they have ADHD.
Yeah.
But
I feel like if I'm a little bit anxious, I'm like, oh my god, I have anxiety.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they use it as an umbrella term, but it's like,
do we actually?
Yeah, like people get anxious.
Like there's like with the prevalence of like social media and like so many things coming into light, like there definitely is probably a prevalence in ADHD as well. So
I also think it is. Obviously, we're gonna go into like the science and the stats behind it, but I think it is also hard to tell whether a mental health disorder is getting overdiagnosed, because how do you prove that? Like, how can you prove it's getting overdiagnosed? Like, mental health is not.
I think overdiagnosed is maybe the wrong term. I think more like people are actually getting the help they need. Because it's like.
Yeah, but then again, the question we're asking is, why are there so many
such a rise in ADHD?
Yeah, so is it that people are actually getting more ADHD? Is it that we are overdiagnosing people?
Yeah.
Is it that we're better at diagnosing people so we're able to catch people that have ADHD and treat them? Or does everybody just have it now?
So that's what we're going to talk about.
But like,
no need to answer. Oh, for me?
But like, what do you think?
I think more people are getting ADHD. I think our attention span is so cooked. And I think like I don't know, like I think even myself, like I can tell like how I used to study before like electronics and stuff and how I study now. It's like so different, and yeah, your turn.
But I don't think it's something that like you just I don't think it's something that you just like get though.
I think it gets worse over time.
Yes, but you show signs
from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, of like, oh, I'm not able to focus on.
Yeah, like if you so even though you get diagnosed at like age 30, I feel like you would still
have
would still have, if you went back and thought about your life, you would have been like, oh, these are the signs that I showed.
And I also think it's on a spectrum,
scale.
like a scale, spectrum, scale, range. Yeah. I think some people might have like very less ADHD, whereas a lot of people are like super unable to focus, where they even need the fidget toys, and like that's the only way they can sit down and lock in. So yeah.
So you need those toys.
I do. I actually used to have a fidget. I never used it for ADHD, but like you know how when everything used to get super popular, that was it. I bought the little fidget toys.
You still do.
Okay, you're done. Alright, so we're going to talk about what ADHD actually is from a clinical baseline side. But ADHD, which stands for Attention Deficient Hyperactivity Disorder, but it's one of the most common mental disorders affecting children. Okay, I don't know why she's laughing. Affecting children.
Still laughing with the
toys.
Freaking toys.
It's affecting children, and it's a chronic disorder that affects individuals both from the academic standpoint and the professional and the relationship and the daily functioning domains. But some of the symptoms include like inattention, like I mentioned, like unable to focus, hyperactivity, impulsivity. And yeah, it's just like if you ever notice yourself about to do homework and you're just not able to sit down, you just like want to do this, you're thinking about other stuff, you're like scratching your head and getting really focused, like maybe you might have ADHD.
Yeah. And an estimated 8.4% of children and 2.5% of adults have ADHD.
Wow.
And there are 3 different types of ADHD. One of them is predominantly inattentive presentation. So, like Shivani mentioned, there are the 3 types of inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. So, the inattentive one is going to be where, like the word is, you're being inattentive. Wow, we're being unhinged today. Careless mistakes, trouble sustaining focus, seems to not listen, doesn't follow through on tasks, poor organization, avoids sustained mental effort, loses things, easily distracted, and forgets daily tasks. So pretty much, it is pretty much what the word is. Like, it's just someone that is consistently inattentive, but they feel like they can't do anything about it. Like, I just feel like that's who you are. That's one type. Another type is the hyperactive impulsivity type of ADHD, and this one is, like Shivani mentioned, fidgeting, can't stay seated, runs or climbs. Like, if you're a kid, you could notice that in a child, but I guess that's also hard to notice because
children are
you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what's normal and not when they're kids. And if you're an adult, restlessness, can't do quiet leisure activities, on the go things, talks a lot, blurts, answers, interrupts, difficulty waiting. This might actually be me. I think I'm describing myself.
You're like, it's me. You're like, I'm self-diagnosing myself.
And then the last one is just the combination. You're actually unhinged. Like, it's a past our bedtime.
Yeah, it is. We're recording this very late in the night, so we're exhausted.
Yeah. And the last one, of course, is just a combination of all, and this would just be if someone meets the criteria for both types of ADHD, somewhat in the middle.
Yeah, and again, that diagnosis extremely matters. Like Deetra mentioned, like, you could be 30 years old and getting diagnosed, but you could have seen signs very, very early on. But those symptoms are presented like in multiple settings, not just in one context. Like, it doesn't happen in one day and you're like, oh my god, I have ADHD, you know? Like, that's not a thing. But
even though I do feel like that's used around social media and
right now,
society,
I feel like it's very prevalent to like not be able to focus one day, and people are like, yeah, I have ADHD. I have like an anxiety attack one day, and it's like, oh my god, not anxiety attack, but like I'm getting anxious, and I'm like, oh my god, I have anxiety. Like, it's over. Like, I feel like I used to throw that term a lot. Like, oh my god, I have anxiety. I probably do have.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people do.
Yeah, for sure. But clear functional impairment and not just occasional distraction, and that diagnosis has to be made by a mental health professional, which is a psychologist or psychiatrist, and a primary care physician. But there's no known risk factors or causes for ADHD, but there could be kind of like environmental exposures when you're pregnant, such as lead and like tobacco, alcohol, and anything in the parental sides where it's like anything mental health related within your family. So yeah, there's no known cause though.
Yeah. And then further into what is happening with ADHD now, the rise of ADHD, is it more prevalent, all that kind of stuff. The CDC reported that in 2022, over 7 million, which is about 11.4% of Americans, 7 million US children aged 3 to 17 were diagnosed with ADHD, which is an increase of 1 million people compared to 2016. And a 2021 report in the Journal of Managed Care and Specialty Pharmacy found 8.7 million US adults now have ADHD.
That's crazy.
Which, these numbers are crazy, they're very high, and they're continuing to get higher.
So do you think there's a particular reason for this?
Well, I think that, yes, in a way. I do think a lot of things play a role, which obviously we're going to get into that kind of stuff. But yes, I do think that there are many, many reasons for why.
One example could be, I think, COVID during the pandemic was a very important time where a lot of people were like very self-discovering of themselves, and you're being isolated. You're in your home alone, and it's like you learn a lot about who you are as a person. And I feel like a lot of people probably discovered that they might have ADHD then, or they might have just coined that term thinking they have ADHD.
Yeah.
So
I think that going back to how we were talking about like umbrella terms and like using the term kind of incorrectly in a way.
Yeah.
I think more people, at least people like what I've heard, I think more people, instead of saying like I have really bad attention, they were like, I think I low-key have ADHD. But it's like, do you know that? Like, we're just kind of, like, we're not saying, oh, I think I broke my bone every single time we have a scratch in our arm.
And I feel like there should be a better use of terminology when it comes to that, because it's like, you're throwing the word just like that.
You're just throwing it incorrectly.
And it's also very hurtful to people who actually do have ADHD as well. It's like you really don't. Like, I'm the one taking medications for that. You're not. It's like the fact that you just throw it around is like it's hurtful in a way. Yeah. But not only that, like I feel like people are becoming more, I guess, less destigmatized.
Desensitized?
I thought destigmatized is a word. Really?
What is destigmatized? I've never heard that word.
Desensitized. No, wrong word. There's less stigma around mental health now. Mental illnesses.
I don't know if that's a word, but keep going.
I don't know. There's less stigma when it comes to mental health, mental illnesses, and I feel like a lot of people are discovering themselves and being able to.
Oh, it is. It is a word.
Okay, but I just think a lot of people are discovering themselves and being able to acknowledge that when they have a problem with themselves, they're coming to terms with it and they're getting the help they need.
Yes.
So that's probably why it leads to also a prevalence of ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on overdiagnosis stuff?
Okay. I'm going to explain this in the best way that I could possibly put my thoughts into words. Obviously, this is what I think.
Yeah.
But I don't. What I'm about to say, I didn't research. I just kind of thought of it right now. But do you think, like, when I think about the overdiagnosis, I think about it from this perspective. Do you think, like, I also think that we got better at diagnosing and catching ADHD, but like you mentioned, I think more people could possibly be presenting with ADHD now because of the environmental stimulants around people. Right? That's one thing. But also, do you think like the baseline for what normal attention span is nowadays has not changed with the time? Does that make sense?
Okay. You're saying the attention span has adapted over the years, and you're saying like,
have we not changed that scientifically to adapt how society is now?
That's actually a very good point.
Does that make sense? So then it's like we're saying everybody.
Oh my god.
So if this is like the threshold for for attention span, this is threshold in like 1980 when social media was not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now 2022, social media is a thing. So everybody that once had this attention span still has a high attention span, but a high attention span for 2020. So it's like down here.
Which also like with the rise of like AI and internet and Google, like what if like our attention span is just being adapted to that? That's like we don't have to use too much attention to like search something up. Like
yes, that's kind of what I was saying. So when you were in 1980, you were here, right?
Yeah.
And if pretend they diagnose, everybody below this part has ADHD.
Yes.
But then if we're already starting here, are you saying everybody? Are you still using the same?
You're asking, are these standards essentially being updated per year?
Yeah, but like not just per year, but like per the time,
environment,
yeah.
Also, gender, race, each of these standards.
Also, like where you live.
I would say the healthcare industry, like it's very like universal in the sense that they have one kind of standardized system and kind of use it for all bodies. But it's like some races could be prevalent to certain things. I know Asians are very prevalent to like thyroid issues, whereas like
high cholesterol.
Whereas like another race could be prevalent to something else, like heart disease and stuff. But it's like there's no scale, like even like the height and weight ratio scale they have. It's universal, but it's like I was always like below that scale. But it's like, but for my height and weight, it was like I was okay.
Yeah,
but for my age, it wasn't okay, and I was like,
I had a similar experience. Actually, I didn't have it, but I had a doctor tell me about this, and it was actually about cholesterol.
Okay.
Basically, the doctor was Indian, so she was explaining how certain standards in the United States are made for like Caucasians, right? They're made on their diets, their exercise routine, their families, their work-life balance, whatever, right? But she was talking about how Indian people naturally, like their food makes them have a higher cholesterol than the baseline that we have for white Caucasian people. But there's also like that amount of cholesterol is not necessarily something that they're concerned about if that Indian person is healthy, they're exercising, they're eating well. Like, because she was explaining how sometimes the foods we eat as Indian people, it's fine for our body, it's still keeping us healthy, but it can cause a higher amount of cholesterol, but our bodies have adapted to that high amount, so then that high amount is not necessarily high. But it's considered high when you compare it to like the white Caucasian male that's not eating an Indian diet.
Which is like, we're not saying like we need to like essentially redesign the healthcare system, but in a way it's
just
like,
that's kind of how it is.
Yeah, like it's like I think there should be a healthcare system in place where it's like it acknowledges that, like your doctor was Indian and she's telling you this
Yes.
because she understands the
Yes.
culture, she understands the food. But it's like if you went to we're getting really controversial, but it's like, do all doctors know this of all races?
I'm sure they know it to some extent, but also I think changes in healthcare just take a lot of time.
For sure.
Because there's so many rules, stipulations.
Yeah, it's just too much. But it's like we need to become more accommodating of everyone's like
agreed.
culture, race, and everything because it's so different. Like I don't eat the same food as someone else might, and my height and weight might be different than someone else's because of the fact that like just the diet we have.
It's like the personalized care that we receive is still not personalized.
It's not
personalized enough.
I agree.
Which I think AI might help.
AI might help. And also like that leads into, again, we're kind of bringing it back to like mental health, mental illnesses. Some mental illnesses might be prevalent in certain races, whereas it's not prevalent in others. And it's like ADHD might be a thing. So
yeah,
we should just be open to the mindset of like accommodating to other races and cultures. Like it's important.
Yeah. Kind of going back into the screen time, digital aspect, because obviously social media is like one of the biggest hit to our attention spans.
Oh yeah.
So
do you watch it on times 2 speed TikToks?
Yes, I do sometimes. And I actually recently have been like, this is so boring. Yeah. So I'm going to force myself to sit there.
But you want to skip the video. You want to watch it to the end, but you want to like confirm that it's been boring the entire video.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, and you watch it on 2 times speed.
I don't watch it on 2 times.
Oh, you don't? Oh, I do.
Sometimes when I catch myself doing that, I'm like,
what am I doing?
No, I'm like, no. Even if it's boring, I'm gonna watch it.
Oh, I watch 2 times. My brother watches 2 times. My mom actually caught us doing it, and she was like, "Stop doing that! Like, your brain, like, stop. You're like." And I think I've literally trained my brain. Like, I can't watch any video without like zooming through it. Even YouTube, Netflix shows. Oh my god, that's how I can finish Netflix shows so fast.
Yeah,
I skip through it. Like I can't sit.
Literally don't.
I can't watch it 2 times speed, but I can't sit there and watch it. I have to like skip through it. Like my
I do that. I do that.
My finger has.
But Loki, I do that not to skip through it. I do that to like, cause I have something else to do, and then I'll be like, let me just.
Oh, I just can do that. I was cleaning my room yesterday, had it playing, and I was just like still clicking through it because I was like, well, it's also a movie I've already watched, but it's like it's been so long since.
But yes, I do know what you mean though.
Crazy. But yeah, sorry.
Back to some statistics. A Brazilian cohort study actually found that ADHD symptoms at age 22 were linked to television time at age 11 and total screen time at age 8. Another study found that frequency of watching TV at age 14 was linked to attention problems at age 16, even after controlling for prior family/cognitive factors. A New Zealand cohort study found a significant association between childhood TV watching hours and adolescent attention problems controlling for other variables, and a large study in adolescents without significant ADHD symptoms found that higher engagement in digital media, social or non-social, was associated with more self-reported ADHD symptoms 2 years later, concluding that modern digital media use could play a role in the development of ADHD symptoms. Again, right now we're talking about ADHD symptoms, not ADHD. So even though you have ADHD, even if you have symptoms of something, you still need to go to a doctor to confirm that you actually have that disease, because like causation doesn't equal correlation. Wait, correlation doesn't equal causation. Yeah. Correlation does not equal causation. Fully reverse that. So you can still, which we're gonna go into like ADHD-like symptoms versus actually having ADHD further. But what this basically means is that what you do now is showing up in different ways later. So if you're somebody that's scrolling on social media at age 22, like this study is, if you were finding symptoms of age 22 right now of ADHD, and if you go back in time, it could be possible that you were on your screens or watching a lot of television between the ages of 11 to 18. So, which is crazy because I think that I don't know about like our generation in general, but the people I know that are in our generation, we didn't even watch TV like that when we were kids. Like it all started now, and I feel like we're already like so bad at their attention.
Also, like, I just feel like I don't watch TV anymore. I feel like when I want to take a break and stuff, I go on like the quick reels and TikTok.
Yeah.
That's like my entertainment.
But I'm saying, like, we didn't even, like, when I was a kid, I was not watching TV like that.
Like, yeah.
And then, but then as I got older, TV became more prevalent. So then it was something that we just do as a pastime. But then, like, for my brother, he was watching TV at a younger age.
Yeah.
So is, like, everything that we're facing now going to happen at a younger age?
For sure. Like, have you seen these kids, bro? Oh my god, they have like iPhones and iPads, and they're walking around like iPad kids.
I know. And they're scrolling. They're scrolling the socials.
Yes! Wait, dude. Okay. There's this video game my cousin plays. It's a TikTok version of making reels and shorts via video game. So you can make shorts and stuff on the video game. And I'm like, yo, we already got shorts on YouTube. We already got shorts on Instagram. We have it on Facebook. We have it on Snapchat. So it's just crazy. I'm gagged. No words. But
that is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. But adding on, like we mentioned earlier about like how ADHD and how social media plays a huge part in that. Like we mentioned the short clips and reels and all that. Your brain is essentially like social media algorithms and everything is built to prevent you from scrolling away, and that content isn't immediately rewarding, and when it's not immediately rewarding, it gets swiped really fast, and the content is also really short and under a minute, so it just keeps you reinforced in that rapid attention switching. But someone that already has ADHD or is predisposed to it, it can accelerate those symptoms, and especially with this episode, that same design trains a normal brain to function like an ADHD brain, which, like mentioned, if I can't sit through the video, 2 times speed. They have built-in features where it's 2 times speed, 3 times speed, or slower for you as well. And it's just like, even social media is adapting and wanting you to get hooked and into that cycle and algorithm. And like mentioned earlier, like when we used to like study for DAT and MCAT, it's like, I remember you mentioned like put your phone away.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even get on those apps. Like getting on your phone is not taking a break. It's just continue to get that attention span running. And like she's right, because it's like I used to feel so exhausted even after getting my phone. I'm like, oh, I'm not trying to study. But yeah, crazy.
Pause right here.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I've been reading yours. You're in color the whole time.
Oh, seriously?
Wait, you're purple, right?
Oh my god, I started
your
reading
shit.
Wait, it's okay. Wait, I feel like it's fine. It doesn't.
Wait,
I just switched colors. I started reading green.
No, right here, you switched right here. You read this, and then you didn't say anything, so I started
Oh,
reading
and
this. And then I was like, then you said the pandemic, and then you didn't say the breath. And then I was like, I'm just gonna move on. It's okay. And then I was like, I scrolled and I was like, oh, wait, I think we wrong colors.
Switch colors. Okay, finish
It's
this
fine.
information, and then we can run it back.
Okay.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Related to that, there is also some misinformation on our social media platforms, which I'm not gonna lie, I have fallen prey to these social media health information. I think I've gotten a lot better at it now because I just don't get any healthcare or like just that information. Like if I'm curious about something, I don't go on TikTok. I don't go on social media for it. I just go to the internet and try to find an article or whatever it is. But a year ago, I was going on TikTok, searching stuff up. Like I was watching what people that aren't doctors, aren't even in the field of medicine, have to say about medical things.
Yeah.
And more than half of the ADHD content on TikTok was actually found to be misleading. And most of that misleading content was, of course, posted by non-healthcare providers. The same research found content posted by actual healthcare providers, because if you guys didn't know, there are healthcare providers that also make content for educational purposes for people like us to watch, right? And their content was overwhelmingly more accurate and useful to viewers. So it's not that social media can't educate us, it's just about who's talking in that video. So I would say that, sure, if you're so I guess like a little piece of advice for if you're kind of on the socials is if you're getting healthcare information, even if it's from a healthcare provider, do research off of that app. Like, you should never really be using one app, and you should honestly never be using social media to get the information about healthcare stuff, because you're either not going to find it, or it's not going to be correct, or it's going to be like half correct. So it's best for you to find an article, a study, a research analysis done on it, if that's possible for what the kind of question you're asking, and then get your information. But worst comes to worst, you don't want to do all that at all. Like, you're just gonna be on the socials, you don't care. Make sure at least the content you're consuming is at least someone that's credible, that has a license in healthcare.
Yeah, I agree. And again, just adding on to like what we just talked about, but about ADHD as a whole and what neurotransmitter it's affecting. But ADHD apparently is one of the first disorders found from a dysregulation of the neurotransmitter norepinephrine, and that is basically talking about like ADHD brains may have low levels of norepinephrine, which works very, very closely to dopamine, and that neurotransmitter is what helps control like the brain's reward and pleasure center. And again, this is kind of like a nice bridge to what we just discussed about how social media kind of like keeps you in that rapid attention-seeking mode and like constantly having you swipe. And it just explains why it's so highly stimulating, and fast reward content, especially social media, can feel especially compelling to the ADHD brain, and why training any brain on that reward pathway could shift attentional regulation. But yeah, if you want to talk about the brain regions involved,
yeah,
and all that.
So, like Shivani mentioned, norepinephrine is one of the most dysregulated neurotransmitter for
ADHD.
Yeah. Some of the regions that are also involved are the frontal cortex, which I feel like we mentioned the frontal cortex in literally every single video.
She's everywhere.
We've ever done it. But this is responsible for higher order thinking, attention, executive function, organization, things like that. Everybody's definitely heard about the frontal cortex. This is what people are saying when they say, oh, your prefrontal cortex only develops after you're 25.
Which makes sense, because there's so many things involved with the prefrontal cortex, and if you're going out of your way to harm it now at this age, it's like, I think you can see like the decisions. I think, at least for me, like growing up, like some of the decisions I made when I was younger to now, I'm like, I look back and I'm like, why would I even do that? Why would I say that? And it's like, you know.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
You know,
your frontal cortex also develops as you experience things. So that's kind of, I think, I don't know if this is true. We should honestly, it'd be cool to research this, but prefrontal cortex. Do you think that, this is so off topic, do you think that sometimes, do you ever like experience something now? Mm-hmm. I mean, or think of something you experienced in the past, and then, or like, I think a better way to put it is like, if your parents or somebody that has a higher knowledge base than you does something that you wouldn't have understood a year ago.
Oh, for sure.
Now you're like, oh, well, low-key, I kind of get why they did that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it's because your prefrontal cortex is growing and you're now able to understand higher order decision making and why? Like your reasoning.
Oh, I mean, sure, because like my mom will always say, like, you'll understand when you're older, or you'll understand when
you're older. And I was like, no,
I'm never gonna understand. I'm never gonna do that.
Like, actually, understand.
Wait, looking at it now. I get it now.
That's so off topic, but it'd be cool to research, like, really how the prefrontal cortex plays a role.
Yeah.
But, of course, the limbic system always plays a role in pretty much everything. But this is deeper brain structure. It regulates emotion and attention. The limbic system isn't necessarily its own part of the brain. It's kind of like a group of parts of the brain. So it's like the amygdala, I think the hippocampus, like it's multiple different parts of the brain, it's not just one. The basal ganglia is another region of the brain that's also involved, and deficiency here.
I hate the basal ganglia. I have beef with her. I just don't understand what she does. Every time I see that word, I'm like, I just don't like it.
You need a clip Shivani right now. So the deficiency here can cause the brain's communication to short circuit, contributing to inattention and impulsivity, which are the two types of ADHD. And then the reticular activating system, which I have always called RIS. I don't even say all these words.
Yeah.
Is the major relay system for pathways entering and leaving the brain. So these are all the different brain regions involved in ADHD, and how they get affected affects how much ADHD you have, what kind of ADHD you have, and how it presents itself. And then studies have also found that ADHD is associated with weaker function and structure in the prefrontal cortex, circuits primarily in the right hemisphere, which I don't know much about. Like, I don't think I know much. I don't think I truly know much about the right and left hemisphere of the brain enough to speak on it.
Left is very logical based.
Well, I know that, but I don't think I know enough.
Left is logical, right is very creative, if you didn't know, but...
And isn't it like your right hand is for your left brain and your...
That's a primary cortex and stuff, yeah. It's like whatever you do in my right, my left is being activated, and whatever I do in my left hand, my right is being activated. Which is so cool. I wouldn't think it's the opposite. Yeah. I do research in that, actually.
That's kind of cool.
Okay.
But... yeah, I think that's kind of like a good area to stop like the
scientific
portion of it. But we do want to end with like discussion within ourselves, because neither of us have ADHD. Well, I guess
I don't.
Up until this day, we did not get diagnosed.
We are not. So yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's like we're not diagnosed with ADHD, but
we also never went to a doctor and was like, do I have ADHD?
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You know, I do kind of see myself like in that impulse.
You're like, wait.
When I was reading those symptoms, I was like, I actually might be this person.
Do you think that social media has ever made you like second guess your own focus of your memory?
Yes. Like every single time I scroll a video.
Like, yeah, I agree. Like,
I think I'm just hyper aware of it now because I'm in healthcare, so I like know this is happening to my body.
Like, do you just think like reading everything on social media and you're like, oh my god, I have that? Like, even reading this like script, you're like, oh my god, do I have ADHD?
Yes, bro. But I think that's part of the thing we talked about, how half of the ADHD content on social media is not true.
So then where's your line in like life where it's like you're able to differentiate between like, oh, I'm just distracted, or like I'm distracted because I'm overstimulated, or is this something I should like go and check? Like, where do you draw the line?
Well, I never went to go check. So
like,
I don't even know
how
where
some
the
people
line
can just notice something's wrong with them.
Yeah, I think,
because I have a friend that I noticed, like, she does have ADHD now, but it's like she was not diagnosed until really late in life, and it's like it makes so much sense because she was not ever able to focus, and she would always get distracted, very daydreamer, very like very out of body experience. Like, we would all be like in the moment, and she would be very out of the moment, and it's like it makes so much sense now, like after she figured out she does have ADHD, and now she's able to stay in the moment, like going and seeing how she got the help she needed. It's like,
but also there's three different types. Like, that one's inattention, but there's also
this one was inattention,
hyperactivity.
Yeah,
which I think
I didn't even know that was a type of ADHD.
I think that low key, I think sometimes it could be hard to tell the difference between inattention and hyperactivity, because it could be like, I don't know if any of you guys have seen those videos, but I used to see those videos where it's like my ADHD brain, and then they would show like different parts of their day and how they're moving from task to task without finishing. Is that being hyperactive, or is that being inattentive to the task you're working on? Or are you thinking so much that you're just trying to do everything?
Either you're thinking a lot or you're thinking nothing.
Yeah.
There's which I didn't know there were so many different types of ADHD.
This is why you need like a professional to diagnose you. But I think for your question, what was your question?
Where's your line?
Where's my line? I don't think I've reached that line yet, but I think the line would be if I am doing, which we're gonna go into these lifestyle factors that can help, because I do think that kind of, I will answer your question, but it's kind of like, I need to give some background to answer your question. But the kind of how we started the episode was about, is ADHD, does everybody actually have a little bit of it, or are we just better diagnosing it, right?
Yeah.
I think everybody doesn't have a little bit of it, but everybody presents ADHD-like symptoms because of all the environmental factors we now put ourselves in, right? So I think that
There's just too many things happening in this world.
yes, but if you are somebody that doesn't have ADHD, but you have attention problems, but it's not necessarily
Yeah.
ADHD, you can still fix those problems. And I think that if I was to feel like I have an attention problem, which I think I do,
Yeah.
but I think it's something that I have improved in the past. Like when I was saying with the DFT, I did improve that.
Yeah.
Just a matter of like being more consistent. But if I feel like I'm doing everything in a lifestyle way to improve that attention, and it's not working, that's not good.
Which we'll
would be my
talk
line.
more about like the lifestyle factors, how to improve your attention span as well. But yeah,
That would be my line.
I agree with you actually. Like I think to how I used to like have the attention span then to how I have it now, I feel like there is a big difference, but like it could be going bad to be honest. But I'm slowly improving. I'm getting better at it. I'm refocusing and yeah. But we can move on to like the lifestyle factors that actually can improve this. But the CDC actually recommends a couple of healthy behaviors that can support health attention regulation for people who have ADHD or without ADHD. So this is just helpful for anyone that feels like they want to improve their attention and want to take up ways to do that. But developing
Sorry, I was gonna say also side note, I know we kind of say this term a lot, and sometimes it's hard to understand the difference. Even while I was reading these CDC and NIH articles, sometimes my eyes would have to reread that thing.
Oh yeah.
ADHD-like symptoms and ADHD are two different things.
Okay, so basically just to summarize like kind of the lifestyle factors that can improve like ADHD. Again, it's not talking about like if you have ADHD or not, it's just general lifestyle habits to improve your attention span. But the first one, and this is for people who have the diagnosis and without the diagnosis, but the first one, again, developing healthy eating habits, plenty of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean protein sources. I feel like our parents say this all the time, so it's like...
And we say this in every single thing.
The number one thing to start improving your health is your food intake, like improving that. Participating in daily physical activities appropriate for any age, so it's like, it doesn't even have to be like, I have to go downstairs and I have to do like a full workout. No, you could literally walk around, go on a walk, go on a run. Something very simple. Move your legs just to get that 30 minutes to an hour of exercise. Limiting daily screen time, which is super, super hard, and I totally understand this because everything in school and academically, professionally, relationship-wise, social media is it plays such a big part. Like I know a lot of people, like we're in college and I don't think I do anything with paper anymore. Everything's on the internet. So if you're able to do the work and like kind of like take time, at least 2 to 3 hours a day, just put your device away, go read a book, do something productive, you know? And then getting that recommended amount of sleep, which I cannot emphasize enough.
I'm literally about to fall asleep right now.
She's about to sleep. You should go watch her sleep episode. So many things,
Yo, promo right here.
Yeah, so many things happen because of sleep. Alzheimer's. Oh, sorry. That was a big diagnosis, but that was a huge one. A lot of memory issues and a lot of like sleep disorders. Everything is like all happens because of sleep. A lot of health things occurs during sleep. You should sleep. That's all I'm saying.
I think that when you go to the doctors, the first thing they're going to tell you to try before giving medication are you exercising? Are you eating healthy? Are you getting enough sleep?
Boom. And you have good bowel movements. Actually,
So,
that's it too.
yeah. So, if you're doing all those things, the next step would then be to get diagnosed for ADHD if you think that is a possibility.
Yeah.
And of course, you can self-diagnose, I think, but it's always best to diagnose by a professional. Also, you can't be prescribed medication unless you're diagnosed by a professional.
And I've seen personally how that medication helps people. I heard that it does make you tired after eating ADHD medications, but
like Adderall?
yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
God, I forgot.
I've never researched it.
I mean, we can do a deep dive if
we're
interested, but yeah, like look into it. I mean, all medication has their pros and cons. Like, I know a lot of antipsychotics can make you feel really good, and then there's also it's always about adjustment. So
Right.
don't
Exactly.
be unopposed to it.
I mean, you're never gonna. There's nothing that exists that's just gonna make you feel good for every single day, every minute of your life. Like, it's just not how it works.
Yeah.
But in most cases, ADHD is best treated like kind of a lot of mental health things, but combination of behavior therapy and medication. So medication won't solely just fix it, and it does also need behavior therapy, which I think is important for a wide range of mental health disorders. But that is pretty much all. All in all, ADHD is real, and underdiagnosis does exist. But not every attention struggle is ADHD necessarily.
Yeah.
With our modern lives, screens, social media, algorithm-driven content, like Shivani mentioned, these genuinely, they shape everybody's brain and how we focus and how our reward pathways work, how our motivation pathways work, and how stimulation works and what our brain does with it, how it reacts. So that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone has ADHD, like I mentioned. It just means that we're living in an environment that is pushing us towards ADHD-like symptoms. So that just means that we are tending to show more ADHD patterns, even though we're not necessarily categorized as having ADHD. And both things, again, can be true as one. Both things can be true together, and the distinction deserves more nuance than social media tends to give it. So I think going back to how we started the episode, is it better at being diagnosed, or does everyone have a little bit of it? It's kind of a mix. There's no right or wrong answer. There's no yes or no answer. It's more like a little bit of both.
Yeah, and that's a good way to end today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed.
And stay tuned next week for our next episode. Whoa!
I was getting ready to say bye. Whoa.
For our next episode. Bye, guys.